This is Wake Angel 2001. I know July hasn't been a very productive month for me, but I'm hoping to change that, starting with this, a commission for my best customer, Spike, and one that's probably several years overdue. I talk, of course, of Snively, Dr. Robotnik's nephew and lackey. So let's get into Snively's backstory. He was first introduced to us in the Sonic SatAM cartoon, where his job was basically to take abuse from Dr. Robotnik. I know technically, as Robotnik's right-hand man, essentially, he was supposed to handle the daily minutiae of Dr. Robotnik's orders, but, you know, he was basically just that little guy that got guff whenever the plans failed. Yeah, I mean, when he was young, he had a whole head of hair, and apparently Sonic running past him at supersonic speeds caused all but like 6 of them to fall out. And at the end of the series, after Dr. Robotnik was defeated, Snively came out of a shelter saying that now it was his turn to take over. And he wasn't alone. And that's when you saw those glowing red eyes, which the creators of the show had said was supposed to be Ixis Naugus, but, you know, the series was cancelled, so we never really got to see a resolution to that. Snively was introduced in roughly the 8th issue of the comic book series, taking over Crabmeat's role as Dr. Robotnik's right-hand lackey. And he had a little bit of cybernetics in him. He had GPS trackers in his hair, remote controls for robots hidden under his fingernails, but for the most part, he's still just Snively. Although, since the comic lasted a lot longer than the TV show, we actually got to see Snively grow something of a spine as he began to show contempt for his odious uncle, and he actually sabotaged his plans at some point in hopes of getting him killed by Sonic. This came to a head when Robotnik's greatest invention, the Ultimate Annihilator, was reprogrammed by Snively to target only his genetic signature, meaning that it would super kill Robotnik. That is, it would kill him in a way that wouldn't even leave a corpse within the universe. That's how thoroughly Snively made sure Dr. Robotnik was killed. Of course, after killing Robotnik, a lot of stuff happened. He got captured by the Freedom Fighters, and he went back with Robotnik. He got roboticized. He got de-roboticized. But ultimately, he actually did spend some time working with the Freedom Fighters, mostly to be with his cousin, Hope Kintabor, I think her name was. Hope Robotnik? Hope. Her name is Hope. She actually humanized him for quite a bit, and I saw genuine effort on his part to be a good guy, until Dr. Robotnik made him an offer, and he decided to go back to him. Although, to his credit, the first thing he did before he ran off to Robotnik again was tell Hope to like take a trip somewhere, just to get her out of there so that she wouldn't be at risk when the station was attacked. Hope would reject Snively for this act of betrayal and go to the Guardian Unit of Nations, where she would be kind of like the lab person for Team Dark. This made Shadow pretty happy because she reminded Shadow of Maria Robotnik, Robotnik's cousin. Okay, but I'm not talking about her, I'm talking about Snively. He would hook up with the Iron Queen, who would become his girlfriend, and I saw real genuine affection between them, even if she wasn't very good at showing it most of the time. This was after issue 200, when Robotnik had been driven temporarily insane by his repeated defeats by Sonic. Well, things didn't really work out for him after this. To summarize, after the Iron Queen was defeated, Snively panicked and ran right back to his uncle, who helped him escape, and then he went behind Dr. Robotnik's back again to rescue Regina from the prison in the Kingdoms of the East, where she, where she and Snively tried to usurp Robotnik again. I'm going to start calling him Eggman again, because at this point they called him Eggman pretty regularly. When this failed, Dr. Eggman made the Iron Queen an offer to become one of his egg bosses, the subsets of the Dark Egg Legion, which no longer consisted of just echidnas. As a way to sweeten the deal, Dr. Eggman actually gave her back Snively, A guy who should have really have been executed for treason for everything he did. And she was happy with this and agreed to become his egg boss from that. But what she didn't realize was that was actually a robotic duplicate of Snively. The real Snively was stuck in one of those little roboticization things from the video game as in a solitary confinement where Regina was none the wiser. So with really no prospect of ever getting free, the last time we actually saw him was in the Worlds Collide arc where his cell was located next to Dr. Light's. That's pretty harsh, man. Then the Super Genesis wave hit. He is now known as Dr. Julian Snively, and he works with the Freedom Fighters, although it's pretty clear that he has his own game going on. He's either working with Robotnik behind the scenes or planning on taking over the world himself. I'm not really sure which plan he has going on, but we'll find out as future issues are revealed. Okay, so that's all the backstory for Snively I feel like sharing right now. Let's go on to making a toy. Snively has worn several outfits over his run, but Tekka Spike wanted this one. The one that kind of looks like Dr. Robotnik's costume, but in green. Eggman's costume. So the base figure for this would be Tails, without a head. Or Tails. Just Tails' is main part. You see. So the big fancy thing I had to do here was basically completely make his head from scratch. This is made somewhat easier by the fact that Snively's head doesn't really look like a human's. It has a very weak chin. It's light bulb shaped. I don't have to encounter any uncanny valley effects trying to sculpt a realistic looking person's head. So I went with like the more haggard look that we see for Snively. I guess it's very stressful working in the Eggman Empire. So he only has like 5 wiry hairs coming out of his head, which are literally made out of wires, by the way. And he has these bags under his eyes, obviously caused by lack of truly restful sleep. I mean, when on the one hand you have superheroes trying to kill you, and on the other hand you have your boss trying to kill you. Yeah, like I said, stressful. He also has those really big ears. Now, I came up with a novel way to attach the head to the body. You see that thing down there? That is actually a glove cuff from one of the figures. I took the glove cuff to be the collar of Snively's little uniform. I had to widen the hole so that it would fit on Tails' neck peg, but by molding the head on top of this, I was actually able to make a head that fits snugly on the neck peg and retains the neck articulation. So, despite being a scratch-made head, he'll still be able to turn his head. Isn't that cool? The body was a much simpler task. You take Tails' body and you build a little shirt Tails, and then you paint it to be Snively's costume. Same with the boots. You just put on that thing that goes down the length of the boots, and that's it. Let's see the Snively figure fully assembled now. It's kind of lucky that despite being human, Snively isn't really any taller than a Mobian. I just find that convenient because that means I didn't have to go try and find another figure that could match his physique. So yeah, this is just little Snively. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say. He has his big nose and giant ears. He is an ugly little dude. It's funny that this guy actually formed a relationship with a much more normal-looking Iron Queen. I guess that her options are kind of limited because she kind of hated the society she came from. She hated the Overlanders. She hated basically everyone in the world. Snively was the only person that she did not hate. Yeah, remember years ago when I made that Dr. Robotnik figure from the Sad AM cartoon using a big figure? Yeah, look at that. Now the team is finally reunited, even if he's not wearing his Sad AM costume. Oh well. This has been Wake Angel 2001. I hope you enjoyed this figure, and I'm signing off.